Welcome to All Clear. I am at the Raleigh Safer Conference in Raleigh, North Carolina. Got a special guest with us. We got Chief Scott Walker. So he's got a lot of letters and things behind his name. So I'm going to let him introduce himself and his passion for cancer. I know that sounds weird, but why don't you tell us about yourself, Scott?
Sure. Good morning, Chief McGaw. Thank you for the opportunity to be here and really have this conversation and to reach out to the members here in North Carolina. So yeah, I'm Scott Walker. I retired from the Phoenix Fire Department about a year ago after 31 years. So I'm a firefighter, been on the fire truck, started as a firefighter, was fortunate to work my way up to the executive assistant fire chief position in that department and just consider myself blessed to have the career I had. Obviously now getting more towards the end of my work career. And so my focus right now is and will continue to be on firefighter health and wellness, firefighter cancer. Firefighter we now know is the, most significant killer of firefighters overall. And we're seeing that daily. Sadly, hardly a day goes by I don't hear for somewhere across the country somebody dying or being diagnosed with cancer. So my passion right now is how do we beat this cancer plague that's impacting us?
So I guess my first question is, why are you so passionate about firefighter health and wellness? I mean, that's something that our organization is very passionate about, but why is it important to you?
So, over the last probably 5 years of my career, just my interest really became in overall health and wellness firefighters, right? Seeing, firefighters impacted by cancer. Unfortunately, Phoenix, large city, large community, we run a lot of calls and we had a lot of members getting cancer and we just saw it impacting us. And it is a horrible thing to watch or see one of your fellow firefighters go through that and ultimately, unfortunately, lose their life too often. And so seeing that and realizing we could do better, from really all aspects, right? From when we hire people, train people, the apparatus, the stations, the gear, our operational tactics, and then on our cancer screening processes and our health and wellness programs. And in total, realize we can save people. And you know what? I want to, in the internal customer is our firefighters, and now I'm focused on taking care of them, and I'm just passionate about it.
Very good. So what brings you to North Carolina? I met you for the first time yesterday. And we've had some good conversation. I'm sure we'll talk some more later on today. But what brought you to North Carolina? What made you come all the way from Arizona to here to be with us?
So I heard about the conference, and then we do some work with SelectWell that's involved a lot in your physicals out here in this area.
Right.
And so they asked me to come out or invited me to come out and said they'd be speaking, and there was some good conference or sessions that would be talking about health and wellness and cancer. And so I wanted to come out here. The reason being is now in my career is working with Vincere Cancer Center. So Vincere Cancer started a firefighter cancer screening program in 2018 with the Phoenix Fire Department. It truly is the most comprehensive cancer screening, and I'll talk about what that is included in that here in a few minutes. But my focus now is because we're Vincere and having this great way to try to catch cancer early, I wanted to come out and share about that with anybody that will listen, but also wanted to come out and hear what's going on here in North Carolina to understand what you're doing. How can I be a resource to you? Whether we have you come out to Vincere or whether I could just give you some ideas that we're doing and they can become, into your practices here in this area. Like I said, it's about saving firefighters. I don't care if you're a Phoenix firefighter or North Carolina firefighter. And so it was just a great opportunity to meet new people,
Sure.
get on a podcast like this and just really share the message, extend the message.
And it's interesting what you say is very true. There's no difference between a fire. Now, there is difference in the East Coast and West Coast firefighting, but the firefighters aren't different in the risk that they face. And you're going at it a little differently. Our organization, North Carolina Firefighter Cancer Wellness Alliance, we're dealing nationally now, which is pretty cool. But we've always focused on, okay, we've talked about the numbers. It's time to take action. That's been our message for the last probably 2 or 3 years. We know that everybody in the fire service knows that cancer is a problem. Like you mentioned, it's number one killer or one of the number one killers. But also we have focused so much on, okay, decon your gear, keep your cab clean, get your preventative physicals, do your screenings. We've always talked about that, but we've never gone to the treatment side where it sounds like you're starting to shift to prevention and treatment. So what are some of the things that you're doing at Vincere that are firefighter specific as opposed to me going to my local hospital or, radiologist and getting a checkup there?
So what's I think unique is, so Dr. Shukla, Vaishali Shukla, started the Vincere Cancer Center in 2017. She saw and became aware of the impact of the cancer on firefighters, and she really became passionate about it. And so we built that program in 2018 with the police fire department, as I mentioned. And so over the last really 5, 6 years, we have screened over 4,000 firefighters in Arizona and a few across other states. And so in that 4,000, we have diagnosed over 300 cancers in firefighters. And while not all of those may have been, fatal cancers, many of them would have been. And so those are lives saved. So what's unique and different is Dr. Shukla, now having seen so many firefighters, she understands what we do. She understands the environments we're in. She brought me on to help cross that bridge between medical doctor, and firefighter. And
Right.
and so that's her passion. And so that's what I help her bridge that. So what's unique is we not just diagnose, you come in for a screening, we find a tumor on your kidney, let's say. Well, too often, what happens is you're told to firefighter, hey, we found something. Okay, go. What do you do with that? Where do you go? Do you see your GP, or you try to find a cancer center? So what's different with Vincere is that's where it really just starts with us. Right now, that's where Dr. Shukla or our staff work with you and guide you through that, I hate to say, journey of battling cancer. And so whether that be we treat you at Vincere, or we connect you with the best resource, maybe Mayo Hospital, maybe somebody else that has better experience in your specific cancer.
Sure.
So we do want to be, our goal and our vision, and I'm very, vision oriented, is to be the firefighter cancer hospital. So our vision is that we can screen across the country, or if you had a member that was diagnosed and you reached out to me and we wanted them to come out there, we would get them out there and we would treat them out there. So we want that type of a, service to the fire service across the country.
You said something that's very important, I think. We lost a member of the department that I work for professionally. His name was Scott Henson, very, very, very good friend of mine. I got to know him as he had cancer. In fact, if you go back and look at some of our videos, we've interviewed him before. But when he went to the local cancer center, they didn't deal with firefighters specifically. This is when cancer was relatively a new thing, I hate to say, among the fire service as far as recognizing it. But they said, man, you got 6 months. It was a very short time they gave him. But he's like, no, I'm going to look at other options. And he went to other cancer centers that, I think he ultimately had lung cancer is what got him at the end, but he had multiple forms. But the point was, he went to somebody that could specialize in what he did. And guess what? He got in quite a few years after that. And he went into remission. He came out and some things like that. I don't know the full extent of what he had, but what you're talking about, finding multiple options and multiple folks that can help out. I think that's something that we'll have to start looking at, across the country eventually, because, some cancer centers are very good at kidney cancer. Some are better at dealing with, lymphoma.
Exactly. And you make a great point. And I think it's important for everybody watching and listening to this is cancer and the way it's, impacting firefighters, it's different than the general public. You think about our health and wellness, right? Our sleep deprivation, always at a high state of readiness, right? So our body's immune responses are different. And so understanding cancer and what we're finding is cancer, strange forms of cancer, or cancer much earlier than we should be finding. For instance, out there, one of our most common cancer we find is kidney cancer. We're finding it in 30-year-old firefighters. That is unheard of. That should not be happening. And so all these other factors make us more susceptible, and it also impacts our bodies in a different way. So having, like I said, Dr. Shukla, who's seen that and maybe have seen exactly how that cancer will progress in a firefighter, now she can intervene much earlier or connect that firefighter to the correct resource. Like I said, we can't treat every cancer at Vincere, but we know who can.
Right.
And she has a great network connecting people. So I think that's a good, important takeaway, is that we are not just the normal general public that gets cancer. We get cancer earlier. What's causing our cancer is different, and the way the cancer is impacting us is much different than the general public.
And we taught a class here at Safer yesterday where we were talking about all the factors that go into not only preventing cancer, but if you have to go to battle with it, if your mind's good, if your spirit's good, I guess, the life is in balance, it's easier to battle those things. If you've taken care of your health, you've eaten right, you work out, if you do all that beforehand, it makes the battle with cancer, I'm not going to say easier, but it makes it more doable and more, and more positive. So I think your message is right on the nose with what we're talking about. And, you know, I look forward to working with you guys some more. And I do want to talk with you guys about Vincere. But if any of our listeners want to learn about what you guys are doing out there, how can they get a hold of you?
So obviously we have a website, vincerecancercenter.com. You can go there. I'm actually updating the website, and you'll have a lot more information for firefighters here just in a few months. If you wanted more information specific about the program, you could always email me. It's chiefw@vincerecancer.com. Feel free to reach out. I will be happy to share any information I can with you or anybody listening. For anybody that has interest for their department, how could they start a program? I deal with departments across the country. I'm working with, you know, up in the north part of in Washington right now. I'm working with District of Columbia. So across the country, I'm working with departments. So reach out. I will share the information. I will share also information about how you can help with your elected officials or your county boards or whoever makes those decisions to understand that truly this is the right thing to do pre-screening and screening for firefighters, but it's also the financially smart thing to do.
Yep.
Because we know when a firefighter gets cancer, now we do have presumptive laws in Arizona. I know that you don't hear in North Carolina yet.
A little
Hopefully.
different. But
It is
yeah.
a little different, but there's still going to be a significant cost for the insurance company, for that individual. The department's going to have that member out of the fire station, off the fire truck for potentially a year or two if it's a stage 4 cancer. So there's real financial costs, real impact to that individual, their family, the fire department, right? We all know everybody and appreciate everybody. It's our family, and cancer impacts everybody. So the financial and, you know, quality of life impacts are real. And we can have those conversations to really get support for the screening programs.
That really shows that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. But Scott, I appreciate you taking time to be with us. We'll have information and links in our show notes about, you know, your info, and we appreciate you taking time. And like I said, it was nice to meet you yesterday, and I appreciate you sitting down with us today.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate what you're doing out here.
No worries.
And any support I can do, I'm here for you. Thank you.
I appreciate it. And as we always say on All Clear, light your fire within.